It goes well. It's great, and it's incredibly challenging at the same time.
More
which I don't
power
think
to
is a
you, my
surprise
friend.
to. I know you're thinking like, well, what an idiot. No, it's been great. It's like days and days of like getting run ragged and feeling like, oh my God. And then he like smiles or something. And it's just like, oh yeah, it was all worth it. What was going on? Everything is fine. We'll be fine. It's crazy how like the smallest things can just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably biology, or else I would have punted him off a bridge by now.
Hey, Monica.
Hey guys.
Well, hey, this just might be a, executive team meeting.
I was gonna say, have y'all been hanging out this whole time?
No.
No.
Just kind of.
And there's Kathleen. Hey, Kathleen.
Hey.
I know Director Whitfield is supposed to be joining us for this one.
Okay.
If not her, then definitely Lauren Adkins again. So we'll give them a few more minutes before we get going.
Okay.
Pretty much be the same thing, just with a different slideshow and Lauren Hughes talking instead of just.
Yes. Lauren, are you back in DC?
Yes, I am in DC right now.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thanks. It's very.
You're in your mandatory quarantine, Lauren?
Yeah.
Oh, because were you in North Carolina?
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
It's a little
well,
different.
# worth it. I mean, it's definitely worth quarantine. What were you? What did you have planned anyway?
Hello again, Lauren Atkins, and hello, James Pittman. All right.
Hello.
We shall get started now. It is 7 o'clock. Welcome to the Rhode Island Avenue Main Street annual meeting for fall of 2020. A little bit different format than we're used to doing for our annual meetings, but we're thrilled to be able to do it in any format that we can get squeezed in. Unfortunately, this means no wonderful buffet full of food or donated beverages from our good friends at DC Brow and whatever wine stores will donate to us. So we'll pop open a can of DC Brow in solidarity on our own time. But in the meantime, let's talk about Rhode Island Avenue Main Street for this past year. It has been quite the unprecedented year, as you're all very aware. COVID-19 has changed the landscape of small businesses all over the world and all over the country, obviously, and certainly here in DC. So we did what we do, what Main Streets do, and that's rolling up our sleeves and figuring out how to best help our businesses. We are so fortunate to have not only a good team of board members and program managers, but also partners in the DC government and some phenomenal business owners that we work with here on Rhode Island Avenue. So real quickly, I'd like to introduce some of the board members that we have here tonight. Simon Sarver is our board chair. Monica Leibovitz is our vice chair. Sorry, completely lost my train of thought because of something popped up on my screen. We've got Mario Rodella, owner of DC Brow and board member, Jack Stern, board member, and also with, oh, Jack, I am so sorry.
Calabash,
Calabash,
Kyle.
thank you. I had the T part, I had the logo, I could not get the Calabash out of my mouth. And then Kathleen Pesolano, also one of our best board members, helping us with grant applications right and left, and helping us with grant applications for business owners, just to name a few. And our staff members that are invaluable to making this program work. Lauren Hughes is the program manager for Rhode Island Avenue Main Street, and Jessica Maylander is the program manager for Bladensburg Road Main Street. And while they each have their own Main Street, they are also indispensable in putting on, working together to put on events and helping us with activities like PPE distribution, everything that we have been just buried with in this last year. Could not do this without both of them. They are amazing, and we will hear more from Lauren about the activities of Rhode Island Avenue Main Street here shortly. I also wanted to acknowledge that we are joined by Lauren Atkins from the Department of Small and Local Business Development, Stacy Brown from one of our best businesses here on Rhode Island Avenue. Stacy, hello. Could not be doing half the work we do without your sign company. So thank you so much for joining us today. James and Justin, hello to you too. Lauren, will Director Whitfield be joining us?
She's going to try. So if we could actually move her remarks to the very end of the meeting, let's give her a chance to try to get in. She was coming from, believe it or not, another meeting on Zoom. So she was going to try to squeeze it in.
I get it. And well, I know she probably has to come up that Rhode Island Avenue stretch that's been underwater for a while now. So we'll definitely hang on to that. So we did have a very busy year. We had some amazing projects that we were able to get done and some more amazing projects in the works. So I'm going to hand this over now to Lauren Hughes to talk about everything that we've been up to this year.
All right, hello everyone. Let's see if I can. Jessica, if you could have my screen sharing. There we go. All right, can everyone see this okay? All right, cool. All right, so we had a lot of projects this year, even before COVID hit. So the first half of this year, I felt like we were pretty productive and continued kind of through COVID. Sorry, this is me trying to work a computer. There we go. So for our small business technical assistants, we can help with, marketing and advertising. And so we had projects with over 14 businesses this year, including these two examples. So we helped with 7 Days Market website design, and then also Fitness Friday, which was a partnership between 4 different fitness studios on Rhode Island Ave. And they had a bi-monthly fitness class that they offered. And it was free for one point, I think like $5 or something, that was kind of geared towards community members in Ward 5. So we offered some logo development and some marketing for them. So we had these posters made up and did some advertising on Instagram. And then we've helped other businesses kind of throughout with different projects. So we had some grant writing assistance for Great Streets and for Robust Retail, some other marketing projects for different ones. So we did get a lot done before the pandemic. We also worked on some storefront improvement projects. So we had VT Nails got a facelift, as did Edgewood Liquors. We had some signage done for Blueprint Barbershop and 7 Days Market. We also installed lighting at some businesses, did some painting projects. So that was kind of the more physical improvements we did for Rhode Island Ave. And then we also continued our DC Water partnership. We started this last year, but this was our second year with them, and they provided us with a grant to help the businesses near their construction site for their Northeast Boundary Tunnel. We used that for various projects kind of the beginning of the year, but after COVID, we were able to shift those funds that we had to give direct grants to businesses to kind of help them with rent and utilities and just help whatever they needed just to get through COVID. We also continued to give them some signage, and some of the lighting projects were for that area. And then these are our lovely scrim wraps that we have that go around the construction site itself to kind of improve the look of it and also give wayfinding signs. So we have the regular version and the holiday version. So it's a lot of fun. Oh gosh, sorry. So virtual Porch Fest, no. Okay, there we go. Procrastinators Holiday Market. I almost forgot about this event because it feels like so long ago, but we did have our holiday market. We had 30 vendors come and join us, and we partnered with Art Enables this year. So we actually got to hold the event indoors. So we didn't have to suffer the terrible weather we always get around that time of year. And it was great. It was nice and warm. It was festive. We had Santa, and we had photos, a professional photographer take photos with Santa. So that was a lot of fun. A lot of our vendors were repeat vendors, a lot local, Ward 5. So it's kind of a great way to get people from Northeast DC together. And then, sorry, I'm having computer issues here. Virtual Porch Fest. So normally we have Porch Fest every year in April, and it's a lovely day event that people can walk around to different venues and hear different bands. But this year it was right in the middle of the shutdown. So we were kind of scrambling to think of what we could do. And we came up with Virtual Porch Fest. So it was held over 2 Saturdays, and we had 20 performers join us. And we used a streaming platform to bring in each performer for a small set. They performed, and then we had people kind of could listen in and have comments. And overall, it was a pretty successful event given we had never streamed anything before. So this is kind of a screen grab. They're not really great photos, but just to give you an idea of what the event looked like on people's screens. And you can see that there were comments, and we were able to plug each of the band's social media and a way to tip them, so people could get links to that and kind of tip them throughout the performances. And we also had great comments from everyone to support all of the performers. We also plugged our small business relief fund during the event, so we were able to get people to donate to that. And we offered a promotion during Porch Fest that if you donated to our small business relief fund, you would also, some of that money would also go to the performers. So it was a good way to tip them. And we were able to give the performers more than their stipend that we had for them. But yeah. Oh, and then we also were able to feature some of our Black-owned businesses during what we called ads or ad space. And so they created advertisements, and it was a great way to showcase these businesses and kind of also have a little bit of an intermission for the event. And we also brought in our sponsors, so they were able to share a little bit about their businesses as well. So we felt like it kind of came together. It was fun. It was a full day of music and really great performers overall. So then we have COVID assistance, which is a big part of what we've been doing this year. And we've been trying to help however we can, and we've had to get really creative. we were able to use a lot of our grant dollars to give direct cash grants to businesses, which we tried to distribute as best as we could. We were able to give out $26,000 in those. And that doesn't include all of the other grants that we had given businesses throughout the year. That's just like one specific grant. So some of the things that we started doing were this small business relief fund, which I mentioned for Porch Fest. It was a GoFundMe that we created that people can donate to, that we can use for our businesses. We're working on distributing that now to provide more grants for businesses. We also created some signage for businesses since they are closed. People needed A-frames to kind of direct people into stores, or just kind of give more information about what the hours are, what the system in place was. And I don't know if it was DCRA or DDOT who did the pickup drop-off zones. So that was kind of earlier on in COVID. They blocked off parking spaces for people to drive up to the businesses and grab their carryout or take for delivery. And so we helped apply for that. And then we created signage for each of the businesses that were in one of those zones. So that was kind of a way to help those businesses in the tighter days of the lockdown. We also had these lovely tote bags made up. We didn't intend to use them for COVID, but it's kind of worked out well as a fundraising item for us. So just to incentivize people to donate, we offered these tote bags that if they donate $100 or more, you can have a tote bag. And that was featured in the National Main Street Center's newsletter. So they thought that was a cool way to do that. We also created this map, which Jessica had mentioned before, but just to go over again, it was a list of all the businesses we have on Rhode Island Ave, Bladensburg, and the Brookland area, and just kind of gave updates day to day of what their status was. So you would know like if this business is completely closed or if they have limited hours or they're carry out only. So we did our best to keep updating it, but it was kind of a way that people in this area could easily check on a business to see what they're doing, or where they could get food from for that time. And then this is another photo of the pickup drop-off zones that we had. I think that's, sorry, just making sure I got it all. But yeah, so that was kind of what the DDOT sign looked like. And then we had our big PPE distribution. So the city was divided into different zones for pickup, and we covered one of those zones. So we had 140,000 masks, 50 gallons of disinfectant, and 550 gallons of hand sanitizer in all different sizes and containers. So we had to break them down into kits. So we were able to get 104 kits created. And we had businesses just drive up to our little tent area, and we just gave them one of these little kits. And yeah, it was a fun day of trying to divide everything, and it worked out well. We ended up distributing them all, which we were very pleased about. And then I think that's about it for everything, but this is my plug because Art All Night is coming up and we are participating for the first time. And so it starts Sunday, ends the 26th, and we're developing a website that will feature all of the different events on Rhode Island Ave. So we hope that you guys check it out and see all the fun different things you can do. But yeah, so that's all I have. Thanks always to our sponsors, our donors, our board members, our volunteers, and everyone else who helps get us going. So, all right. Thanks for listening.
And thank you, Lauren. You know, as Lauren mentioned, the Art All Night event coming up, and Jessica mentioned it in her presentation. This is our first time to participate in it, and DSLBD has just been Herculean in their efforts to get this going this year. I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, Laura, a little touch and go whether or not Art All Night was going to happen this year. And DSLED worked really hard with Commission on Arts and Humanities to get this pushed through to be a virtual event. We have not participated in the past, and we're thrilled to participate this year. All happening, of course, at the last minute, as the best things always do. So Jessica and Lauren have been working really hard to put together a website and some programming to feature some of our local businesses for the several days that Art All Night will be running. So please pay attention to the website, our riamainstreet.org website, and social media. And there'll be links and promotions about the Art All Night event on both of those, I'm assuming. Yes?
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. And even though we've had a really busy year, we are just getting started thinking about next year. Our new fiscal year starts on October 1. We are thrilled to once again be partnering with Department of Small and Local Business Development for another year. We also give big shout outs to our other grant sponsors, the Department of Housing and Community Development, and the DC Commission on Arts and Humanities that provides us grant money for Porch Fest. We hope we'll have an in-person Porch Fest this year, this coming spring. But if not, we've got the virtual Porch Fest under our belt and know how to do that. And it is a way to keep supporting artists, whether we can enjoy them in person or not. So either way, we'll take care of our creative community here in Ward 5. And this is the part where I want to make sure that I'm thanking all of our volunteers and all of our board members who volunteer and roll up their sleeves every day to make sure that we're doing good work in the community, whether it's helping us with fundraising or knocking on business doors and telling them about our programs, or helping us at events. We are lucky to have such a great group of board members with us, representing all parts of the community and multiple businesses within the community. So big thank you to all those board members here, and also all of our volunteers and our donors. I was kind of blown away by the number of amazing donations that we got through our Small Business Relief Fund campaign on GoFundMe. Part of that was run in conjunction with Porch Fest. Part of it was just us putting it out on social media and asking for help. And I was just so amazed and thankful for all of the very generous donations that we got from the community members in support of small businesses. It's one thing that we can absolutely depend on in this community is support for small businesses. And it's why we're so proud to be part of the Main Street here in this community. We of course continue to have the support of the council member, Ward 5 council member McDuffie, and the mayor's office. And we will be sharing this video with them since they couldn't be here tonight. But we'll no doubt hear from them later on in this year, and look forward to inviting them to participate in events coming up over the course of the year. But I think everybody in the District of Columbia has just been phenomenal in their assistance to not only the Main Street programs, but very specifically to the small business community. I think we could have seen a lot more impact in the small business community if we had not had such a dedicated level of support from our district leaders and agencies. Lauren, would you like to say a few words on DSLBD's behalf tonight?
Absolutely. I think you're right. I think Director Whitfield is probably trapped in the water. And so if she were here, I think she would probably want to, I know she would want to congratulate you all as well on another terrific first year, and to say that you're right. DC, the citizens of DC and the small businesses of DC have had just great leadership through Mayor Bowser and our council, and great appointees like Director Whitfield to become these strong champions of DC Main Streets. But as amazing as those awesome leaders are, they can't do it alone. And so without the, as I said earlier, the workhorses of neighborhood revitalization and commercial revitalization in DC are surely the Main Street programs and the extraordinary work that you all do. And so we want to certainly congratulate you all on your, I think this is your 6th year as a Main Street program for Rhode Island Avenue Main Street. And absolutely tonight's rainstorm shows why you need to, why WASA needs to be doing the work that they're doing, but you all have been extraordinary champions on trying to help that to minimize the impact on businesses, which is just a shocking impact on businesses. And then your amazing work all throughout the year, and doing one of the hardest pivots ever of helping businesses pivot while you yourself pivoted as an organization. So thank you for finding a new way to become that and to remain that strong champion of small businesses during what is the most unusual time and the hardest time that I think any of us have ever lived through. So congratulations to you all. Here's to a much happier, much easier year next year, but certainly take your victory laps on making it through this really amazing year.
Well, thank you so much for those kind words. I'm sure we will have new challenges and opportunities going forward, but we know that with every unexpected turn that we may have ahead of us, we know that we will be there for our businesses. We know that DSLBD will be there for us and for our businesses. So we look forward to working with our great team of board members and volunteers and partners at DSLBD to make sure we're doing everything we can to keep the small business ecosystem here as sound as possible in 2021. If we were at our regular events, we would raise a glass and toast to all that, but we're not. So you all go pour your own glasses of wine or crack open a beer, and thank you all for everything this year. Again, thank you sponsors, thank you donors, and thank you volunteers. And thank you, team Jessica and Lauren. You guys are awesome and make all the difference in the world in making this happen every day. So appreciate everyone's time and energy. Thank you for joining us tonight. And we'll be reporting in again. And hopefully next year we'll do this in person with food and beverage to celebrate. So thank you all.
And once again, this was recorded, so it'll be on our webpage. We'll report once it's ready. So all of this and more.
All this and more. Thank you all so much. Have a good evening.